I'm here with Billy Kheel at the Eastern Projects Gallery in Chinatown, and they're having a Dodgers show, Dodgers exhibit that's actually been running from about mid-October, and it's going to end tomorrow night. But first of all, Billy, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
If you want to kind of discuss kind of what's going on tomorrow when this exhibit ends.
Yeah, sure. So we're having a closing reception tomorrow from 4 to 8 here at Eastern Projects Gallery, and we're gonna have like a little World Series celebration, as it turns out.
So, like I said, you started this back in October. When you guys come in, you got to check it out. There's all kinds of great art depicting Dodger moments. There's there's pieces of Fernando, of Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts on my wall over here to the right. Great pieces all around. Definitely recommend to come check it out. When did you guys decide to come and set up this exhibit here?
Sure. So Pat Riot, who's the other artist involved with the show, who's the other artist in the show, and I really connected last year over the moment of Gavin Lux and Kiké Hernández's crotch bump celebration, which we found to be like very unexpected and kind of crazy, but pretty cool. And it just was sort of like a moment that we both kind of connected on, and then we both admire each other's work, and we both work kind of with material that's sort of related to baseball, like Pat with bubblegum, me with like felt, which is like sort of like the uniforms and pennants, bubblegum obviously with the trading cards. And we decided to try to do a show, and both of us live near the stadium. We're both Dodger fans, love the energy. And so we were like, let's plan a show, let's make it, let's have a heavy Dodgers theme involved with it. And then, as we're planning it over the summer and the spring, the Dodgers were stumbling a little bit. So we got a little nervous when they were in the wild card that, maybe this might be a sad opening if things didn't go well. But they, obviously things went great. It's been amazing. And it's really helped the reception of the show.
So, yeah, I wanted to touch on that, like the medium that you work in. It's not your traditional, canvas or pen and or charcoal or whatever, right? You use felt. So how do you come up with that? Like, how do you cut out all the pieces, kind of glue them in there? How does all that work when you come together with starting on a new piece?
Yeah, sure. So I was inspired to use felt. I was working down in the fabric district over here downtown, and just walking around and seeing the giant rolls on the street kind of inspired me and got me thinking. And I'm a big sports fan. I've been involved in sports my whole life, and I just started thinking this soft kind of crafty material just keeps popping up in my head when I think about sports, whether it's like your varsity jacket with the felt, the old felt player uniforms, the pennants that a baseball pennant is made out of felt. And so I just thought this might be an interesting thing to use that kind of connects to the sports in a different way. And so then I started working with it as a material, and over the years I've kind of refined my process. Like now I cut a lot of it on a laser, but then I hand sew it all together. I like the experience of maybe you see something from far away and you think to yourself like, oh, what is that? And then you get closer and you see the stitching and the layers involved in each piece.
So I know Pat's not here, but his work is with bubblegum. So if you come in, you look at some of these pieces. There's one I mentioned, some of Shohei, Fernando, and Mookie. They're completely bubblegum, right? Like
yes.
he's chewing it and then takes a little piece off and puts it on, right?
Yes, yeah, he's chewing it one piece at a time. He sources all the different colors of bubblegum, which is one of the harder parts. And then he's like sitting down, he's chewing, like he did a demo for us. He chews a big wad and then just takes like each piece, almost like a pointillist painter, like Seurat would do with like little dots. And I think it's really interesting to come in and look at his pieces as well, because it's the same. Like from far away, they look like, are those prints, or those drawings, or those paintings, what are they? And then you get closer and you see each little detail of bubblegum. And I think what's really interesting too, when you get up close and notice, is that when he does like a first pass of bubblegum, like the bubblegum dries up and shrinks, because the water evaporates out of it. And so then it's left, he has to go back in and fill in more. And if you look closely, that's, I think, where he gets really funky with the colors. And you'll look, and in some of the shadows, there's pinks and reds and, you know, different colors that you're like, wow, you know, I didn't see those from you know, 5 yards away.
I mean, it's truly incredible. I mean, what you can do with art, and if you want it, I find it incredible. Like I said, when you do it in different forms, right? Like that bubble gum, things you wouldn't think about, right? And you come up with these incredible pieces. But you were saying you were inspired by the crotch bump from last year's playoff run. That's kind of where it got you started. And then one of the questions I wanted to ask you was there something from this playoff run that you wanted to do? And as I walked in, we see behind you, we see the catch. And so is there anything else coming out that you're currently working on? Because there was a lot of great moments in this World Series. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that you can definitely do.
Yeah, I mean, it's so fresh, and like to me, you know, the collision catch between Andy Paez and Kiké Hernández was just such a perfect sort of bookending moment in the way that it was totally unexpected, kind of weird, but then turned out to be sort of great, which I think kind of is the same feeling we had about the crotch bunch celebration. So this was like the first thing I think that I was like, wow, this is amazing. But you know, obviously the double play, like, I mean, you know, this was just an epic World Series. I think it got the whole city so excited, and the energy has been amazing. So, you know, I'm taking suggestions as well. So,
So last one. So like I said, it's an incredible, you know, exhibit that's going on here. And I suggest if you guys get a chance, come out tomorrow before it closes. What's kind of been the reception of Dodger fans that have been coming in here and checking this out?
it's been great. You know, I mean, you know, we've gotten some coverage like in the local news. You know, definitely during the week of the World Series, we talked to some of the local news stations, and I think that's had a lot of people sort of coming in. And I mean, the really neat thing to me is just that like Dodgers fans is such a variety of people. You know what I mean? Like all types of people, all, you know, of all stripes, you know, Ohtani fans to Mookie fans, you know, to old school Fernando fans. And that's been like what's really cool to see is just all the different kinds of Dodger fans are out there. It's got to be one of the most diverse fan bases, you know, there is.
Yeah, well, like I said, I appreciate it. You know, I've came through and just marveled at some of the stuff that's on here. And not everything's Dodger stuff. I mean, you got Mookie Wilson, you have the old school Bill Buckner, you know, gets through his legs, you know, the famous Vin Scully call. Like, there's so much stuff here. There's this mosaic right here to my right. Just incredible stuff. I mean, continue doing this. Much success. And, you know, we're going to hopefully get some people out here tomorrow night.
That sounds great. Thank you. And, you know, that's one thing is I think that both Pat and I, like, you know, come out and it's stuff that's more fun if you come and see it in person and you really get to look at it and experience it. So, yeah, we hope people can make it out.